Introduction and Conditions Under Which Children May Read This Book of What Happened Then Stories. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Jenn Broda. What Happened Then Stories by Ruth O. Dyer. Introduction. Ever since there have been stories to tell and little children to listen to them, there has always been the question, and what happened then? The tales selected for this book are among the oldest and best loved among the child classics. The endings of some of these stories, in their original form, leave a painful sense of loss in the child's mind. Others end leaving wrongs unrighted. Still others end before the child is quite satisfied with the merry tale and the sayings and doings of its characters. These three conditions gave rise to the second part of all these stories, that all the little children who read and hear them may be able to say that these stories have turned out just right is the sincere wish of Ruth O. Dyer. Conditions under which children may read this book. Do you like the old stories of fairies, elves, and such? Of kings, of pomp and glories? Do you like them very much? Do you believe in fairyland, where elves and pixies dwell, where wonder deeds are wrought by hand, and things turn out so well? If of these things you're certain, why then, my little friend, you may draw aside the curtain and see what happened then. End of Introduction and Conditions Under Which Children May Read This Book. Recording by Jenn Broda. Chapter 1 of What Happened Then Stories. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Jenn Broda. What Happened Then Stories by Ruth O. Dyer. Chapter 1 The Pied Piper of Hamelin. What had already happened. Many, many years ago, in a country far away, there was a beautiful little village called Hamelin. You could scarcely imagine a prettier town than this. Its streets were lined on either side by beautiful shade trees. The houses were tastefully built and the gardens well planned, and best of all, beautiful children played on almost every lawn. On one side of the town of Hamelin was a large river, and on another side a lofty mountain which reflected the sunsets. If it had not been for one thing, this might have been one of the happiest spots on earth. But there were so many rats in this beautiful village that the people began to think that they would have to move out and let the rats have the town to themselves. You will be surprised when you hear of the many things those rats did. They fought the dogs and killed the cats and bit the babies in the cradles and ate the cheeses out of the vats and licked the soup from the cook's own ladles, split open the kegs of salted sprats, made nests inside men's Sunday hats, and even spoiled the women's chats by drowning their speaking with shrieking and squeaking in 50 different sharps and flats. Of course, all this was very provoking indeed, and at last the mayor and his council met to see if they could find some way to get rid of the rats. They talked and argued for an hour, but they could not come to any decision. They had almost decided to go home when they heard a gentle tap on the door. "What is that?" cried the mayor. "I think it was someone scraping his shoes on the mat," answered one of the councilmen. "Anything like the sound of a rat makes my heart go pit-a-pat," said the mayor. Then the knocking was heard again. "Come in," cried the mayor. And in did come the strangest figure. His queer long coat from heel to head was half of yellow and half of red, and he himself was tall and thin.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?